One of those first steps that is really fun for me is to go out on the adventure of information collecting, of researching, of going and being a curator of things that bring you ideas, things that spark inspiration.
Welcome to the Action Taker podcast. Hi, I'm Lauren Cosgrave, and I'm a business coach. In this podcast, you'll find an action-packed look at the strategies, tactics, and mindset that lead to successful online coaching, consulting, and service businesses, even if you're a mighty team of one.
Hello, Action Takers. It's Lauren, and today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about how to beat a business slump. How to get through those phases when you're feeling like you just don't want to do it anymore, or you might be feeling a little bit bored, or feeling, I talk a lot about the shiny object syndrome. Well, this is at the other end of the spectrum when you're feeling just like uninspired about what is coming next for your business. And this is a normal part of being a business owner, and is actually a sign that you have outlasted the majority of average business owners. It's a sign that you are pushing through to that next level, and you should embrace it to really hone in on what is that process that keeps you engaged and keeps you excited about the future of your business. Innovation is the stuff of business success. I mean, tech companies know this and have been preaching this for a very long time. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to be pivoting and shifting what you do all the time, but it does mean that you have to continue to strive for that next thing, that next level, that new product that you might offer, or that new shift, or the next version of whatever current product that you have. Or it could be as simple as just a new round of clients to give you an infusion of some new energy. I want to talk today about a couple of tips and ways that I use to bring creative energy back into my business. And one of the reasons I'm talking about this today is I myself have been experiencing this over the past couple of months, and I'm coming back out of it, and I wanted to share it as a benefit for you action takers so that you know how to tap into your creativity in your own business. First strategy of how to bring creativity back is go back to what your inspiration source was. One of the things that I realized I'd doing is I'd stopped listening to business podcasts. And I actually did that consciously because I wanted to laser focus my efforts on this one program that I'd invested in and that I wanted to commit to for my business. And I didn't want to be distracted by shiny object syndrome. But now that I'm on the backside of developing that system, it's time for me to bring that back in, to bring back in those business podcasts, to bring back in staying connected to the business coaching community and what are the latest and greatest strategies and techniques for growing a business and generating consistent sales. This is all similar to a creative design process, right? Like really being a business owner is an artistic, creative endeavor. It is your art. It is your form of putting out into the world what it is that you do best. I took a couple of semesters of classes for graphic design, and they have been one of the most helpful forms of instruction that I've ever received when it comes to being an entrepreneur and a business owner. Because those introductory courses taught me how to be creative, taught me what a proper design process looked like, so that I would have a system in place to be able to rely on when I needed to create and generate something new. Artists that do freelance work have to be creative on demand. They get commissioned to do a piece of work. They have a timeline that they need to complete it in. And if the spirit isn't moving them, they've got to find ways to get that spirit to move, right? To go find that creativity. One of those first steps that is really fun for me is to go out on the adventure of information collecting, of researching, of going and being a curator of things that bring you ideas, things that spark inspiration. In my business of business coaching, that happens to be other business podcasts. When it comes to developing a web page, it's going and looking at other people's web pages and starting to collect ones that you like. Saying, oh, I like the colors from this one, and I like the language that's used in that page, and starting to paste them all together. It's kind of like a Pinterest board, right? So we don't really have to overthink this. If you're feeling stuck, devote and schedule some time to get back out there in researching and getting inspired by ideas from other like-minded people in your niche. The last thing is to make sure that you're going back to basics. So the Action Taker Planner, building your 90-day plan, looking back at your annual plan. If you're getting away and you're straying from those practices that are keeping you connected to your long-term vision, you're going to feel a little like bored. You're going to feel a little maybe depressed, like, well, what's next? It should be really clear what's next. And when you look at that list, if it's not clear, if that's not what you want to do anymore, go back to those strategies around building out what your plan is again. Thinking out what's going to stay or go. What's going to be in the 4 quadrants of your life. If it was going to be the best year ever for you, the next 12 months, what would that look like? What would need to happen? Journal on it, meditate it, ask yourself those questions. I hound on these and repeat them over and over and over again because there are the tools that help us maintain momentum, that help us continue to move forward. So action takers, I hope that this served you today. I hope that you're finding creativity in your business. I hope that you're in action serving your community and serving others with joy and living what your purpose is. If you like this podcast, I think you would really love to learn more about my 4-step method to generate consistent sales in your coaching practice. It's a free webinar. I invite you to go check it out. You can register for free today at laurencosgrave.com/webinar. Go check it out. Ton of great information in there. Once you get all this creative juices, how do you now go sell it? Go check out that webinar. And until next time, action takers, remember that normal is boring, your success is inevitable, and action taking is replacing the grind. And I'll see you next time on the next episode.